Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some NHL action this Wednesday night. The Boston Bruins versus the Edmonton Oilers. Pasta versus Connor McDavid. Sign me up. And we're just getting done with the Flyers going against the Blackhawks. And the Flyers are up 3-1 with about a minute to go with empty net. So don't think Connor Bedard is going to end up getting the dub here today. Not enough Chicago Blackhawk action at home, but I am excited for the Bruins and the Oilers to see two elite players go at it, and Connor McDavid and David Pastrnak. Let's go, baby. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Odin's son starting it off with a $40 dono before the stream even starts. That's a great way to get the stream started, so thank you so much. Daniel in the building, what's good? Odin, I appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, $40 dono. Let me get some photos up for Odin's son. I'm not sure if he'll be able to hop into the stream, but he definitely wanted to show some love. And so we're almost, a little bit more than a third of the goal already. So that's a fantastic start for this matchup. Daniel in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Odin, appreciate you. All right, $40. Let's get to a hundo, $60 to go. And it's nice to be able to get off to a good start with the streams. Let's go over some devil photos. Let me get this situated here while we're just waiting for the Blackhawks to wrap up. Let me get a couple photos up here for him. Do some Jack Hughes. Appreciate you, brother. And then if he ends up making it into the stream, obviously we'll end up throwing up a few more for him. So thank you so much for your support. It means everything. Let's go. I got a few of them in here. Let's cue some music while we're waiting. I'm ready for this matchup. Thank you so much. And anyone that donates, if you're not familiar, it doesn't matter if it's 99 cents up to, however many dollars, I will definitely be able to go out of my way and get you some of your favorite things, whatever that may be. I got to get Jesper Bratt in there too for him. Thank you so much, Odin. Appreciate you. Big Devils fan. I got you, bro. Let me get one more photo, squeeze it in here. There we go. Let's go. Appreciate you, bro. I'm ready for this. And then obviously with the thumb, we got Pasta on the left and Connor McDavid on the right. And it's not that often that I get this excited for a matchup. I know it's a little bit late, but a first place Boston Bruins, 33-12-11, first in the Atlantic Division, going against the Edmonton Oilers, 33-18-1, third in the Pacific. So a 1 versus a 3, a pretty damn good matchup. So I'm definitely excited about this, and I'm ready to go. Let's go. And then tomorrow is the emergence of the MLB season. It actually starts tomorrow. Even though it is Cactus League or preseason, still Dodgers, Padres around 12:30. I'll probably just watch the game. I talked to my dad today, big Dodger fan since the 50s. So I probably will just watch the game with Paisley and maybe, call my dad and see how he's doing and watch the game with him, through, obviously over the phone and whatnot. And then I think we're going to end up doing the Kraken tomorrow night. And then the Kraken end up playing, I believe, at 7 p.m. as well, Pacific time. So let me double check here. Yeah, we're going to play the Canucks. So Vancouver Canucks versus the Seattle Kraken at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll be here 24 hours from now, same time, but just two different teams. Let's go, baby. Now we just got to wait for everything to kind of wrap up on TNT, and then we'll be good to go. Turn up the volume here. All right, let's get it to game 2 in this doubleheader, baby. Ooh, spaghetti sounds great. I have been craving spaghetti. I did end up getting my my pizza, my combination pizza that I had from a child I got that, craving out of the way. Final score, Flyers 3, Blackhawks 1. But I have been craving, I would say, spaghetti or maybe some kind of like chicken Alfredo or something of that nature, but definitely spaghetti or spaghetti and meatballs. But if I'm going to do it, I think I would rather make it myself rather than overpay at a restaurant. And I can make a damn good spaghetti. There's not very many things down the line that I can make that I feel really confident in, but I definitely feel very confident in my spaghetti game. I might have to do that at some point. Yeah, and me and Odin were talking about, BWO shirts, but we might end up going a different direction, and that's a big part of the dono. I found this amazing Sabu and Terry Funk ECW kind of hardcore. It's like Japanese. It's got like Japanese kanji writing like down below based off like a death mat they had in Japan. It's a fire shirt. I'm thinking I'm going to probably end up getting that. And he found a really cool oddity shirt as well that's got the ICP in it with the oddities. So I think that might be the direction that we may go, but we definitely have to go through some more photos as well. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if it's even, if it's considered ECW, but when I saw it, I was like, oh God, because we were thinking about BWO shirts, but then I was like, it's kind of simple. Just like the NWO, just BWO blue shirt with the box. So if I'm going to end up spending, $30 to $40 with a t-shirt, wrestling shirt and shipping, I want to get something that's a little bit maybe more colorful and whatnot. Let me see if I can put it up here and I'll show you what it looks like. I got to minimize it here, but Terry Funk versus Sabu, King of the Hardcore is what it's called. But there hasn't been too many shirts from Terry Funk, and originally I wanted to get a Sabu or an RVD shirt, but when I saw this one, I was like, wow, I have to have this. A little bit better than a BWO shirt. Me and him will get BWO shirts in the future, but for now, pretty cool. All right, set that TV there. I'll show you here. But look at this shirt. And I'm pretty picky with my wrestling shirts and whatnot, but pretty fire, man. And I haven't got a new wrestling tee in a minute. I got some Kenny Omegas and some Young Bucks. But I was like, damn. I was like, I got the little kanji writing. It's got the Terry Funk with the blood. You got the Sabu there, King of the Hardcore. Fuck it, it's dope. A little ECW action. Man. I need that. I get that. I haven't decided if that's going to be the last, final thing. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's pretty fire. Because I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth if I'm going to be paying like $30 to $40. So. Can't wait for baseball to start tomorrow. All right, puck drop. Wow, puck drop. We got to wait 16 minutes for puck drop. If I would have known it would have been that much time, I would have started the stream a little bit later, but at least it gives us an opportunity to throw up some photos and just kind of relax. And anything that you guys want to go over, let me know. And we got about 15 minutes until we have puck drop. And then obviously once that starts, we'll probably end around 10 p.m. Pacific, midnight if you're in the Midwest, and then about 1 in the morning if you're on the East Coast. So. Colts fans want Bucky? Oh, nice. All right, baby. Let me know what you want to do for photos here. I'm going to try to get a few photos of Pasta and for Connor McDavid while we're waiting. Let me delete some of these other photos I had for Odin. Shout out to Odin being Odin, always taking care of the cause. And hopefully we can get a few more people to come through to show a little bit of love. Let's see, what do I want to do? Connor McDavid, maybe start there. Connor McDavid to me is like Nathan McKinnon. It's always must-see TV. If they're playing, chances are it's going to be a phenomenal matchup and a phenomenal game. All right, let's get some Connor McDavid here. first photo didn't format properly. It was a little bit too blurry. There's Connor McDavid. I see him. Leads NHL with 62 assists, third in the NHL with 83 points. He is the real deal, Holyfield. Oh, Bucky with a change of pace back. Then that would be a little bit of kind of like the Lions with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Not the same, but it would be a nice compliment to JT. And then if JT got hurt, then you could implement Bucky Irving, and it wouldn't feel like the world is ending. You feel like, okay, I feel confident we can still possibly get 80 to 100 yards rushing and maybe get a score or two. So, yeah, I'll be very interested to see where Bucky ends up falling for sure. How's your foot feeling? Still injured tonight? I imagine it's going to be taking a little bit of time to be able to recover. Plantar fasciitis. It's not an easy thing to heal from, and it can linger. So I've never had it before, but I've had friends that have had it. So get plenty of Connor McDavid here sprinkled in, and then we'll sprinkle in some pasta. I imagine we'll get Judah to come in, but it is late. Damn, I feel sorry for some of the people that live on the East Coast that want to watch sports. I mean, unless you don't have work the next day, but I mean, imagine having to watch your favorite team play at 10 p.m. every night. Oh, look, I sometimes complain when the stream is at late, like 7, 8 o'clock. Like I just sometimes you just want to be able to get your stream done earlier, so you have time later in the night to do other things if needed, and obviously starting at like 5 or 6 is a little bit preferred, but again, East Coast teams going at it. This is the time that we get it here on the West Coast at 7, and by the time we end up getting the puck drop, it'll be 7:23, which will be 10:23 in the East Coast, but I imagine Judah will drop in. Any photos of any players that you guys want to see, just comment below, and shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people that are in the room right now. What to do? Everybody's just warming up right now. Second half of the doubleheader. All right, so we got some Connor McDavid in there. Let's get some pasta up now. Try to make sure we have some fair representation here. Yeah, I'm excited for baseball too. Get some pasta up here. Leads the NHL with 9 game opening goals, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up making it number 10 tonight, even on the road. Oh, baby. Bruins just got to be able to match that intensity that they had last year, but they just can't fumble the bag in the playoffs. They don't want to pull a Dallas Cowboys when you're like really, really good in the regular season, and then you just kind of fall on your face and fall short in the playoffs. But, it happens. And Boston doesn't necessarily have a reputation of doing it year in and year out like Dallas, but it looks like this is going to be year number 2 of being elite and possibly being first place, in your division in the Atlantic. And you want to make sure that if that is the case, that you don't, you want to at least try to get as close to the Stanley Cup, finals as possible, but obviously easier said than done. Let's go. more pasta in here, and then we'll go some baseball photos for tomorrow, or whatever you guys want until we get to the puck drop. Brad Marchand, 25 goals this season. I'll have to throw up one of him. There's a good chance that he'll score tonight. Nice little action shot there. Let's go, baby. Bruins, Oilers. I mean, you don't even have to be a hardcore hockey fan to appreciate this kind of matchup when you get a number 1 ranked team in the Atlantic, number 3 ranked team in the Pacific, 1 versus 3. Let's go. The last time we had a 1 versus a 1, it ended up being a blowout. So we'll find out if it ends up being similar to that matchup or a little bit different. You did? Did you did your repost? I got you, bro. I like the list too. Under 25, right? Part 1 and part 2. Bigger, taller receivers like we were talking. Slot receivers. I like it, man. Keep putting out that content, and I'll keep reading it, and I'll keep supporting you. Megan in the building. What's good? Only 1 game tomorrow, though. But I'll be watching. You got to be pretty hardcore to be excited about preseason baseball. But again, a lot of us, it just depends on what, your fandom is. Have you got a favorite team, and, how loyal you are to the team and how excited you are, for baseball. There's different levels of fandom. Some people love baseball a little bit more than others, and I'm definitely excited. I don't know if I'm going to stream it tomorrow, though, because the Kraken play the Canucks at 7, so we're already going to be doing that stream. But, if I knew that we would be able to get to goal and we would have a good turnout, I definitely would do the game tomorrow at 12:30. But just the fact that it's on at 12:30 is not the most ideal time slot, and it's preseason baseball. And as we've seen, in past streams, support for baseball streams sometimes is good, and sometimes it's hit or miss, and sometimes it's not so good. So, well, we will find out. I'm gonna throw some Shohei Ohtani up. Nice video with Teoscar Hernandez and Shohei Ohtani and Yama. He'll get about 50 at-bats. Since he had his surgery, he's not going to be able to pitch for a year. But in preseason, in the Cactus League, Grapefruit League, you're going to get about 50 at-bats. They are going to limit him to a certain degree. But again, this is going to be the team that's going to draw the most attention in baseball, whether you like them or you don't. They're the easiest to watch unless you have a favorite team of your own. So if you don't have a favorite team, this is the easiest team to watch in baseball if you're just looking to watch something. And then, my dad's been a big fan since the 50s. So we're definitely excited about the opportunity to see what both Japanese pitchers can do. And one will pitch this year and one will only hit this year. But definitely excited to see what they bring to the table. And baseball is back starting tomorrow, baby. It may not be regular season. We still got another 35, 36 days for that. But, it'll hold me over, for a few weeks. And then it'll give us an opportunity to either do NHL or MLB. And then I know that they have, Elimination Chamber, or one of the pay-per-views, but it's on at Saturday in Australia at like 1:30 in the morning. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a stream for that. But I probably will stay up late and I'll probably watch it. So, if it wasn't on so late, I would definitely do a stream, and I feel a little bit cheated. that it's on so early, because that's something that we always do every single year. We always do at least one, pay-per-view a month, at least something wrestling related. So kind of a, it's based off of, the time difference in Australia and whatnot. But I imagine it'll be a decent pay-per-view. Just wish it wasn't on at 1:30 in the morning or 2 in the morning here in the States for us. So. Let's go, baby. Everyone, make sure you take care of your mental health. You only have one. Pasta, Bruins, McDavid, Oilers. Buckle up. Should be a good one here tonight. Let's go. McDavid, Pasta, McDavid. Sign me up, baby. Let's go. What's the breaking news? Yeah, I don't think they've ever done it like that. We've done pay-per-views in the past in Saudi Arabia where it was on at like 10 a.m., which was early, but still not early where we were like, oh, I don't want to do this. I mean, if it's on at 9 or 10 a.m., I can do that. Hell, even if it's on at like 7 or 8 a.m., I can still wake up early and do it. But, I mean, shit, 1:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning for it to start, and then it's going to be like 3 hours. I mean, I know people here probably wouldn't mind necessarily, because we here at this place, in the Pacific Northwest, at my place here, we stay up late. We're usually up pretty late. Sometimes me and Paisley will, try to go to sleep a little bit earlier. But if I know there's something special to stay up for, hell, I'll definitely watch. Oh, nice. Who is hosting while B is away for 10 days? Smash that like button. Let's try to get to 20 likes. We got to be able to try to get an algorithm going. Not a lot of people cover the NHL and do live play-by-play and reactions and cover the games on a regular basis. So if you are watching on Twitter/X, if you can smash the like button, come in the room and do that, that would be great. For the people in the room, if you haven't done it yet, please do. It would really help us out. Ah, nice. Shit, I wish I had the luxury to take 10 days off. I can't take any days off unless I feel that, strategically for me, it doesn't make any sense to stream. But I mean, the most days I could probably take off is, maybe a day or two during the week, maybe. But I mean, I like to work, so. But good for him. I imagine that he's been grinding for, many, 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 many days. And, if you're doing longer streams, yeah, it can definitely wear on you. I'm so excited about this. Let's go. Oh, he's helping his mom move. Ah, good. He's being a good son. Good for him. Does he have to go like out of state or something? Or like he's got to move her from one city to the next? All right, here we go. All right, baby, here we go. All right, I got to get the volume up. Is this max volume? All right, here we go. All right, I'm ready. McDavid is so smooth out there. She has a broken back. Oh. She's moving from like one island to another. 2 shots on goal for the Bruins already within the first 45 seconds. Wow. Oh, penalty. Wow. We got a Bruin player down. Uh-oh. He's going to have to get medical attention. Damn, already? Pasta's not happy. Uh-oh. Minute 5 in, and we already got a serious injury. Let me see it. Did he get smashed into the boards? Oh, it's just a tripping. But why? Oh, I was gonna say, did he hit his head? I don't know. Maybe he just stayed down for the effect. I thought he actually got blasted and his head hit the wall or something. Wow. He's finally up to his feet, but like when you initially see it, it doesn't really look that bad. It looks like he just, got tripped and that was it. But now he's having a couple players hold him going into the locker room like he got knocked out, like he like got KO'd. Wow. All right, Boston power play. Pasta. We'll see if that gets a little bit of extra juice for Boston after the. I'm not really sure if it was really a dirty. Oh, I don't know if there was necessarily a real dirty play, but it really didn't look that bad of a penalty, honestly. Based on what the penalty was and then the reaction of the player afterward, it doesn't match. But I'm hoping that he's all right. How's everybody doing today? Everyone doing good? It was a little bit overcast, but me and Paisley got, some good quality time in and, did a lot of reading, film study, got a chance to talk to my dad and, talk Dodgers a little bit, today, which was good. He's going through some physical therapy with the knee surgery and nice steal. Wow. But then it's like one thing after another. Once you have like one thing that you heal from, then something else happens. So I guess my dad has got some like nerve damage or something that's going on with his um, with like the back of his leg or something like that, or something that he might have to see a specialist for. So hopefully everything will be all right. But it just seems like anytime you end up, as you get up in age and you get a little bit older, as soon as one thing starts healing, then something else gets banged up or hurt. So story of my dad's life, I guess. Oh, we got less than a minute in the power play. Oh, good to hear. Good luck on the interview on Friday. Hopefully it works out. And then, oh, baby, 1-0 Bruins. Wow. That was a hell of a play. Morgan Geeky, power play, assisted by Mason Lore and Charlie Coyle. 1-0 Bruins. See if Judah will come in. I imagine, well, it's already 10:30 right now, but if he doesn't have to work, maybe we'll see Judah hop in here. Woo! Wow. Morgan. Look how deep he shot that. That was incredible. Morgan Geeky. Jeez, Louise. Okay, 1-0. Bruins Geeky. I always get amazed, with hockey players and when they shoot from distance. It's one thing when you're watching like Steph Curry or Dame, shoot from half court or they're shooting from 3/4 court. But in hockey, you can make shots, from very, very far away. You just have to, get the right angle and hopefully it doesn't get deflected by anyone. Or if it does get deflected, someone on your own team, to knock it in. But that was pretty. 1-0 Boston. 4 shots on goal for the Bruins, 2 for the Oilers. And I assume that we'll get Pasta with a goal or two tonight. And don't be surprised if Connor McDavid gets 1 or 2 as well. Yeah, my dad was asking me too. He's like, "Do you understand My dad's not very familiar with the NHL. He just covers the Dodgers and stuff. He's like, how long did it? He was asking, he's like, do you understand like the game and the rules and the players? I'm like, yeah. I was like, you got to do a lot of reading and film study. You actually have to watch games. You just can't half-ass it. And just like watch highlights and think that you're going to be able to understand the game in entirety. And you still learn, every day, based on players on other teams and different lines and who the best players are, who the best goalies are. It's been a very exciting season, and I'm glad that we have something to do other than the NBA at this point. Woo! Nice save. And then we got baseball starting tomorrow. I'm excited for that. But we will do some NBA games periodically. We'll do March Madness. We'll do the NBA playoffs. We'll do some NBA finals. But, it's going to be a lot of NHL, MLB, wrestling, for the time being until we get more NFL coverage when we go to the draft and combine and college football and other things like that. So less than 15 minutes to go. 1-0 Bruins. I mean, like I said, you got to read, you got to watch film, you got to watch the games, and watching games in entirety really does help you, understand the game, instead of just seeing a fraction of the game in a highlight package. Seeing a highlight package does not tell the story of what happened in the game. So I like to be able to, make my own, kind of breakdowns based on the film that I watch, not based on what anyone else says or, based on some condensed highlight reel or, 20-second little highlight package. So, ooh, less than 14 minutes to go. 14:07. But again, it's not like I just started watching the NHL like, last year. I watched it when I was a little kid for many, many years, played the video games, knew all the names of all the players, so I just took a little bit of a break from it, because I didn't really have anyone to talk about it with. So I kind of lost interest. Same thing kind of happened with NASCAR. I was really into it, when I was younger. Then I went through a gap of about maybe 10 or 12 years where I just didn't have anybody really to talk, NASCAR or hockey with. So I lost interest, and then more interest went towards, NFL, college football, and wrestling, and some of the other things. So MLB. But I'm glad to be able to get back, to enjoying the NHL like I did when I was a kid. Mad memories from playing NHL 94 and 95 on Sega, and a lot of the early PlayStation games on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. 13 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Bruins. You can tell that these teams are, if it kind of has a playoff feel to it. There isn't any lackadaisical movements. Passing is crisp. They're both teams are aggressive. They know what's on the line. Now they're getting chippy. But I always like that. I don't, sometimes when we watch the Kraken, it takes a little while for them to get into the groove. And as we get better players and we get hot, that will change. But it's always nice to be able to see a matchup where both teams are engaged right away, and you don't have to wait to the second or third period for the first goal. And you're getting good, crisp hockey right out of the gates, which you would expect for a number one versus a number three. Playing today with the Bruins and the Oilers. So. It's like Baldy's breakdowns. I always watch all of Schwartz's stuff too. Like you haven't been on Twitter/X in a long, long time. I mean, you just joined it, but yeah, he's been doing that for quite a while. But anytime I see any film breakdown stuff, like I was telling you, I always look for those two guys typically, and there'll be a few other people that'll do it. But Baldy is probably the most respected. But Schwartz and then a few others, will put out content here and there, and Yeah, anytime I see any of that, and anytime if you see anything, I mean, I would assume most of the stuff that I see, a lot of the people in the room, you guys already see it too. So it's like if we send each other like articles or clips or video, chances are the person that you're sending it to already saw it. But still, it's just something to be able to engage and every once in a while there might be a post that the other person hasn't seen, but it's just something that we like to do with each other in the room as far as the mods and the goats to keep up on things. So Paisley. DeBrusque, father son, huh? Louis DeBrusque, Jake DeBrusque. Wow, look at the games: 401 to 440, 24 goals to 131. Right, Bruins are good, but they can't do what they did last season, where you're like the number one team for a good chunk of the year, and then all of a sudden you lay an egg in the playoffs. I wouldn't mind seeing the Bruins go deep, in the run. But again, it's gonna, be up to really good, crisp goaltending, and obviously Pasta has to keep dominating, with scoring and goals and assists. That's one team where you're gonna have one guy as a superstar, and there's others that are gonna come up and do big things like Geeky and a few others. But Pasta, everything goes through him. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Coyle or Marchand. We're gonna see some of these others get involved too. Less than 12 minutes to go. 1-0 Bruins. 5 shots on goal for Boston, 4 for the Oilers. Nice pass. Oh, that was a good setup right there. It's like anytime I end up watching the elite teams too, I try to get a gauge on like, down the road when Seattle can get a little bit better, what we can look forward to, based off the roster and the depth and the goaltending and the passing and, just, getting to a point where the Kraken are, one of the top 3 teams, in the division. And, hopefully we can get on a run where we can end up, being a consistent playoff team. But we got a long ways to go this year, even just to make the playoffs. But hopefully we can beat the Canucks tomorrow at home. And we got a nice little home stretch at Climate Pledge Arena. So hopefully we can get on like a nice 8-game win streak or something like that to gain some Uncle Mo and some momentum. Connor McDavid. Thanks for sharing there on there, Matt. I appreciate that. 5 shots on goal for both teams. Oh, we got Swayman versus Skinner. Connor McDavid needs to get hella aggressive here pretty soon. Put the pressure on. It's like almost inevitable for him not to score. I mean, you already know he's gonna, at the very least, probably get an assist, or two. But there's a lot on the line in this matchup. So, oh, what a save! Oh, they're getting chippy out there. Fight him. Oh, McDavid. Oh, they're about to fight. Connor is going to get in a couple fights tonight. Connor don't fuck around. All right, take care. Swayman, golly. 5 shots on goal. This is probably the most entertaining first 10 minutes. That's just a 1-0 game. I mean, it's not like we've had 3 or 4 goals, but as far as only 5 shots on goal, but you got 5 shots on goal for both teams in the first 10 minutes. And even though it's only 1-0, I mean, easily you can have 5 shots and 5 shots and be at 0-0. But it's been pretty intense. It definitely has a playoff feel here on TNT tonight. And you're definitely going to see Pasta and Connor McDavid, get in the mix. If they have to throw some bows and throw some punches, they will. What are we at on the likes right now? Let's get those likes up. Let's try to get to 10, and then hopefully we can get to 20 or at least 15, depending on how many people we have. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as on YouTube in the room. Appreciate you. Smash that like button. It takes like 5 seconds to do it. I'd appreciate it. It helps us in the algorithm. Elliot in the building. What's good? I'll be watching. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to actually, do a live stream for it. I think if baseball support was better, all the time, I definitely would. But, it's like if it's going to take me an hour to make a thumbnail and then I'm going to do like a 3-hour stream, and then we end up hitting, a very low number on the donos or, the support, then it's just not really worth my time, you know. But I will be watching. Me and Paisley will be watching. I'll be getting up hella early tomorrow, and then we have the Kraken and the Canucks at 7 p.m. So technically, I could do 2 streams. One from 12:30 to like 3:30, and then the other one, from 7 to 10. But I just haven't decided yet what I want to do. Now, if I was drinking a shitload of booze, like I was back in the day, yeah, I probably would just end up doing both of them and just not giving a shit. But I got to be smart with how I spend my time. So I save. I'm excited, bro. Mason in the building. What's good? 9 minutes left in the first period. 1-0 Bruins. Yeah. But as you know, we did baseball last year, and there were some streams where we hit, 100 to 200 in donos. But then there were some streams where we got literally no support, And so it's like if I'm going to be doing a thumbnail and it takes me an hour, and then I'm doing photos for all the players, and obviously anyone else that comes into the game, and then I'm calling pitch by pitch, and then I'm doing like you do more effort on a baseball stream than any other stream that's out there, just based on what it is, besides maybe like NFL. But even with the NFL, obviously it comes second nature, obviously, to me doing college football and NFL. But I feel with like baseball, it takes the most effort. So it's like if you're going to be doing that, you just want to make sure that it's worth your time. No one wants to work for free. And especially, if it's your full-time job, you don't want to grind it out and put all your blood, sweat, and tears. And then all of a sudden at the end of the day, you're at a $0 or like $1 or like $5, So score is right above me. 1-0 Bruins. It's crazy how many people are like, before when I didn't have a scoreboard, right? They're like, what's the score? And then we would have it down below in the ticker, you know? And then every sports stream that I do will have a scoreboard right above me on every stream. But every once in a while, we'll get somebody that'll be like, what's the score? I'm very confused. I'm very confused unless you just can't see above where I am up at the top of the screen. But I think it's pretty clear that the scoreboard is there. So, Elliot, I appreciate you helping out on the Twitter/X. Yes, 1 month, but I'm still ready for preseason. Grapefruit. Whatever. Cactus League baseball. I'll be watching a lot, and we'll be doing some streams. You can't see it. You know what I can see? That's what I can see, baby. 1-0 Bruins. Yeah, we can't see you. Where did you go? Straight pulled the John Cena on us. I hope that comment was worth it. But it is cool now. They have extra options, so it gives me an option where I can delete the comment, put a user in timeout, or I can ban. Because you weren't able to delete the comments before, but they added that tool, which is kind of cool. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about that too much throughout the year. But I hope baseball support, gets you know, gets better than it was last year. Because I'm going to be doing like all the Mariner games. I'll be doing a lot of Dodger games. So we're going to be doing over 100, streams with baseball throughout the season, just Mariners alone. Out of the 162 game schedule, I'll probably do. Oh, Vogel, McLovin. Wow, knotted up at one. Warren Fogle. I am McLovin. With a backhand, 12th of the year, assisted by who? Who else? Connor McDavid. There we go. Nice job, Warren. I don't think I've been this excited for a beginning of a season for baseball besides this year. Not just the Shohei Ohtani hype, but I just think with all of our favorite teams, and if you've been here on the channel while we've done baseball games in the last 2 to 3 years, it's a lot of fun. It takes a lot of effort and whatnot, and but I feel it's fun. You either have a connection with baseball like you do with hockey, or you don't. It's like football is the easiest to watch, right? Hands down. And if you're a baseball, hockey, NASCAR, NBA, it takes something else to be able to be a fan of that particular sport or some kind of connection. All right, we're knotted up at one with less than 8 minutes to go in the first period. Hey, you're going to learn today. Well, we'll probably end up doing a few collabs for the baseball season. So, a couple other Mariner fans, hopping on and whatnot. So, see, you with Matt as well. You need to get yourself a computer, that has, if you have decent enough internet, some type of microphone, whether you're, talking into the microphone of the computer itself, or you get a microphone or something of that nature. But these are things that, if you end up having a computer and a microphone and you end up having an internet connection that is halfway decent, I don't mind having a few people hop on with me, during games and whatnot. So whether it be just, for a little bit, for like an inning or two, or the whole broadcast with me, I'm not opposed to having people, I can call the game, and then, the other person can end up chiming in on, little facts and, other things to kind of complement the stream. So, Skinner, what a save. And like I said, for someone that didn't like it, and then decided, and I told you, didn't I tell you? I told you, as soon as you go one time with your friends, you're going to be hooked. Doesn't matter if you get a ball. It's just the memory and the fun that you have with your friends. And then then doing fantasy baseball, and then following, the Padres, and then knowing the names of all the players, and then figuring out who your favorites are. And then you get invested. And then, so it doesn't matter if it's something that you just got invested in, a year ago or a couple years ago, or if you're someone like me that's been watching Mariners since the mid 80s, and I've been pretty hardcore, with the Mariners every year. I would say on average, I probably watch, well, as of late, me doing the channel full time, I'm pretty much watching every game. But even back in the day, I mean, I would be watching well over 100 games in a season every year, even back then. So, but I wouldn't mind doing some collabs with some other Mariner content creators, or people in the room, depending on who they were. If you're one of the mods, or if you actually have the proper equipment and whatnot. So your boy's not a hater. Nice goal by Fogel. Right. And it's not like you were really, Cardinals or Cubs or, based on the location of where you live, where you could have been that. So it's cool. Like, once you pick, that's your team. And then now you're going to be hardcore for the Padres until you're an old man. You know what I mean? So it'll be cool to be able to see the progressions, year in and year out. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of heartache and heartbreak as, obviously with the Padres and the Mariners. And there's a few of our teams that have never won a World Series or gotten there. So, and there's still a lot of people are available to pick up. Snell, Bellinger. I mean, if you go down the list, I don't think I've seen this many big names still waiting to sign with, preseason baseball starting tomorrow. Normally you have like 2 or 3 big names that are left and they will sign very, very shortly. But this year we have like 10, like pretty substantial big names and maybe 4 big names like Snell and Bellinger that haven't signed, which is crazy to me. But again, sometimes you got to find the right fit. And also it's about the money, right? Yeah. Bellinger to the Mariners would be dope, but I know that the Mariners are cheap as shit and they won't do it. But I wouldn't mind that. And then obviously, if you guys have been on social media, you guys have seen the jerseys with like Fanatics. And I don't know what's going on with like hockey and baseball, but it just seems like this takeover, with like Fanatics and stuff. It has to be like, Nike or Reebok or Adidas or, you got to be able to have your certain branding. But whatever they're doing with these new jerseys, they're terrible. The baseball jerseys this year for all the teams are terrible. The pants are see-through. They're thin. They're cheap. What happens when someone gets drenched? With the Gatorade or the water, everything is going to be able to be seen. You know, so I don't know what's going on with them with the cheap ass materials that they're using, but I don't think I've ever seen jerseys look so cheaply made, and then the pants are see-through. Like who the hell? And then I saw like players, they're not really wanting to bash it, but I haven't heard one player saying that they like the jerseys. But if you go and look at Otani or any of the photos of any of your favorite players on your team, you can look at the whites that they have, and when they tuck the jersey in, you can see the jersey in their pants underneath. Like that's ridiculous. And of course they're going to say, well, it's for breathability and better movement, but you got to have it not look so cheap looking where it's like see-through, and the jerseys are terrible. I'm not buying a jersey. You're better off buying the stuff from last year or the year before. And if anyone thought that the Fanatic jersey stuff we got another player down, McAvoy. But if you thought the hockey jerseys were bad, the baseball is worse. Baseball is worse. The design on where they put the MLB logo, it should be at the top on your neck, and then they have that little line, and it's underneath. It looks like shit. Like I don't know who designed the jerseys, but they did a terrible job. We got another Bruins player down. Let them fight. Let's get those likes up, baby. Takes 1 second to smash the like button to help us with the algorithm. We need 2 more to get to 10. So if you're in the room and you haven't smashed the like button, please do it. If you can't donate and you don't want to chat and you don't want to share it, that's fine. But you can at least, at the very least, if you're going to hang out here all night and watch with us, smash the like button. It takes 1 second of your day, and it'll help us in the algorithm for future NHL streams, which not a lot of people do. So it'll really help out, and I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X. And hopefully we can get to 10 here momentarily. And once we get to 10, let's try to get to 20. And it may not sound like a lot for some people, but you'd be surprised if you can continuously get 20 likes or 30 likes, even on a stream that doesn't maybe have as many people as others. It really does work into the algorithm. So, all right, less than 5 minutes to go. McAvoy went down, the defenseman. Hopefully he's okay. We're knotted up at 1. 10 shots on goal for the Bruins, 9 for the Oilers. Let them know, Matt. Let them know, Sarah. Let them know, Elliot. There you go. And what's the situation with Profar? Did his visa go through? Is he actually on the team yet, or is he still in the foreign country? Is he playing tomorrow, or is he still like in the his hometown country? Man, these guys are checking each other really hard. You know, when sometimes when you watch hockey and you're checking guys into the boards, and then they're checking each other when they're on the ice, and they move a little with their body based off the impact. But these guys are like doing like NFL decleating hits like I used to watch in like the '80s. These guys are getting hella physical out there. It definitely feels like a playoff game. Connor McDavid assisted in 5 straight games, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting a goal or two in the second or third period. Less than 4 minutes to go. All right, we hit 10. We need 10 more. 10 more likes to get to 20. And what do we have? 40? $60 to hit the goal. If I end up doing the Dodgers and the Padres tomorrow at 12:30, how many people would be able to come through, for that? I'm wondering if I ended up doing that stream, because I'm still going to be doing the Kraken and the Canucks at 7 p.m. to 10. So, I mean, I don't mind doing 2 streams in one day. I just don't want to, leave Paisley unattended for too long. But I mean, because it's not, you don't even have to be a Dodger fan exclusively or a Padre fan exclusively. You can just be a baseball fan and just, be happy that you actually get to watch, some baseball, the first game of the year. And there's only one game on. So it's not like you have to, go back and forth with all these other games that are on. There's only one. And then obviously every day after tomorrow, then there's going to be multiple games on. So, good save. 3 minutes to go in the first period. Knotted up at 1. Playoff atmosphere. And these guys are trying to beat the shit out of each other like every 2 minutes. I love it. And this is the first game that they're matching up against, and then they're going to go to Boston for the second matchup on March 5th, I believe. So it's not like these guys are playing each other 4 times in the year, 2 at home and then 2 on the road. Pasta, McDavid. I mean, it's worth it just to watch those 2 players. Man, I'm proud of you, man. Like sometimes it's just about getting that going, you know what I mean? And if you got if you got goals and things that you got to do, you got to start off with that, Get some money coming in, learn some responsibility and the grind and the effort, and then once you get that, everything will start to fall into place for you. 2 minutes to go. 11 shots on goal for the Bruins. Very crisp. Oilers with 10. We're knotted up at 1. God, everyone is falling down, man. They are just so physical tonight. Let them fight. Another penalty. Reflect in the building. What's good? He said, I smashed the heck out of it. Thank you, man. We got baseball tomorrow. Very, very excited. Probably the most excited I've been for, the first game of the season in a minute. I'm going to look at the schedule here real quick, but I hope everyone is doing well. All right, let's take a look at the schedule real quick here while we're waiting. So we got Dodgers Padres tomorrow at 12:10 on ESPN. I may or may not do that. And then we also have the Kraken and the Canucks. And then on Friday, we got 4 games, Royals, Rangers, Padres, Dodgers again on ESPN, White Sox, Cubs, Diamondbacks, Rockies. So there is a possibility that I could end up doing that Padres-Dodger game on Friday also, or, one or the other. And then on Saturday, you got most of the teams playing. The Mariners play the White Sox at 12:05. So I'll probably end up doing that on Saturday. Well, let's look to see what the Kraken are doing. What's the Kraken doing on Saturday? Do they play? The Wild and the Kraken play at 7. Oh yeah, they're all at home. So yeah, maybe I'll be busting out multiple streams, but again, if I'm going to be doing 2 streams in a day, for 7 hours of content, it has to be worth the time and the effort and the energy, making the thumb for an hour and then doing a 3-hour stream. So we'll have to play it by ear, but I'm not opposed to working hard. I just want to be able to, work smart, not just work harder, but you got to work smarter. Power play for Edmonton. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first period. Reflect with the tour. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. $2 holla. Appreciate you. That puts us at 42. 58 to go. Let me know what you want to do. Let me know what you want to do for photos once we get to like a little bit of a break here during intermission, and I'll throw up some photos for you. Seahawks, Kraken, Huskies, whatever you want. But if you're not too familiar, with these two teams, bottom line, everything runs through Pasta on Boston, and everything runs through Connor McDavid and Edmonton. So, those are the all-stars. Those are, the beast mode players to keep an eye on. The knuckle? Oh, gosh. I can't wait. Was he joking or was he being serious? End of the first period. We're knotted up at 1, baby. Let's go. All right. Let me know what you guys want to do. Let's go through a few of the photos here. And shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people who are in the room. We're in intermission now. Bruins won. Oilers won. Physical matchup. Feels like a playoff game. Morgan Geeky getting the first goal for the Bruins. Second goal by Warren Fogle. McLovin. Let's go. What do you want to do for photos, Reflect? 97 is McDavid. Keep an eye on for him. Pasta. Pasternak. 88, baby. Must be a little late for Judah, too, but I don't blame him. I mean, if he has to work tomorrow. I told him this morning that we were going to do the stream for him, and, if he's on the East Coast, I mean, the game started at fucking 10:22 his time. So if you got to work the next day, that's a no-go. That's tough. I don't know if I could be a sport fan on the East Coast. I think I would almost move somewhere where I wouldn't have to have that time slot. I feel like if you live on the West Coast, you get the best time. And when you're on the East Coast, like everything is so late. I couldn't imagine watching my favorite team at 10 p.m., but I guess that's what you have to do if you're a hardcore sport fan. So. All right, what do we want to do? We want to do some Mariners. We want to do some Dodgers. What do we want to do? NHL players? Whatever you guys want, you let me know. Fire away, and I'll throw those up. What would you like? You let me know. But I am interested in this. This will be exciting. I don't care what anyone says. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have some extra hype, and I feel maybe this is a big part of why there's so much anticipation, whether you love him or you hate him. You love the Dodgers, you hate the Dodgers, but it's going to be must-see TV. bottom line, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see, if they end up winning 100 to 120 games and then fail and lose to a team like the Diamondbacks in the first round or second round, or if they end up having a season where they do win 110 to 120 and then just win it all. But a lot of injuries have plagued the Dodgers in the last few years, especially with their pitching, and they don't even have Ohtani this year, so but I'm definitely excited to see what they're able to bring tomorrow with the Padres. All the Dodger logos, baby. Yeah, well, it would have been much nicer if he was on the Mariners. Yeah, and a lot of people are thinking that we're going to have one of the best, overall, starting lineups with pitching, which we have had, but maybe even better this year. It's going to be sad for me. All of my photos from before, right? I'm not going to be able to use some of them, right? No Teoscar Hernandez, no Eugenio Suarez, no Jared Kelenic. Well, we still got J.P. Crawford. And we got this guy, Julio. Yes, sir. No more sophomore slump, baby. Definitely excited to see what Bryce does this year as well, and George Kirby. Obviously, the pitching will be the strong suit of the Mariners, like it is pretty much every year. But, as long as we end up getting the right type of combination of hitters and we're not batting 220, 230 all year round, then we'll be able to find a way to possibly make a wild card or at least be in the running for one. Right. We just got to hope that the high contact rate guys actually do it for the Mariners. Judah, I was just talking about you. I was like, oh man, it's late for you, bro. 11:07. 100 plus wins for who? Mariners? You think we're going to win 100? What's up, Judah? It's funny. It's like my ESP. It's like, oh, okay, Judah. And then boom, there he just magically shows up. Which is a little weird. Sometimes if you have a thought, and then all of a sudden you end up having an interaction from someone that you had. And it's really weird. Like when I tell you guys, sometimes we'll talk about certain subjects here, right? And then all of a sudden I'll see something in my timeline the next day. Last night we were talking about, like uniforms, right? And we were talking about players and, going through who had really nice throwback uniforms between the Eagles and the Seahawks, Patriots, Buccaneers, all those teams. And we were talking about baseball and our favorite players like Randy Johnson. And I was talking about the Expos. No one on planet Earth has talked about the Expos in years. And then literally, this morning when I wake up after talking about the Expos and how much I love those jerseys that Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez, Oil Can Boyd, Andres Galarraga. Now I find out on my timeline, and I haven't seen anything Expos in 4 years. And then this morning I wake up and what's on my timeline? Some kind of documentary that they're going to be doing for the Montreal Expos. I was like, creepy. I was like, I haven't seen anything Expos. We talk about it, and then all of a sudden the next day, Expos stuff? Weird, but I'll take it. You got work tomorrow or no? And with that pitching and better offense, and that's obviously, if we hit 100, that means that we're not having a lot of injuries. So we have to have, we have to be injury-free, and we have to have Julio play like he did in the second half of the season, not like the first half. And if he does, he'll probably be an MVP candidate. Closer to 300 batting average, closer to 40 home runs, less strikeouts, RBIs through the roof, some good stolen bags, somewhere between 20 and 45, somewhere in there, So I got nothing to worry about. Well, I guess he'll be here then, huh? What other photos do you want? Reflect, you got anybody else on the Mariners staff? Want some more Kirby? But I do love some George. It's weird now, like as far as like no Eugenio Suarez. So I don't know, like with my pecking order on how it would go. I guess like my pecking order goes Julio 1. Oh gosh, that's tough. Maybe JP Crawford 2. I really like the impact of JP and what he has to bring, as far as like, a positional player. And I know sometimes he does good, sometimes he does bad, but I'm a big Cal guy. I love me George, and I love me some Price. So those are probably my top 5 right now. Julio, I mean, as far as my personal favorites, Julio, JP, Cal, Kirby, Miller. Wow, 4. Acuna, yeah. I mean, obviously, once you get off your sophomore slump, he should be able to get better. I saw a thing about Ty France trying to lose weight and gain some bat speed as well. So hopefully we can stay injury-free to a certain degree, and we can end up getting as close to 100 wins as possible. That'd be awesome if we could end up winning the division, or at least getting, second place. Bang, bang. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. $3 holla. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. What else do you want for photos, brother? Logan Gilbert. I do like Logan Gilbert. I didn't want to get rid of him. I like Gilbert. I like Wu. I mean, Castillo, it's like, I like guys that are more homegrown rather than guys that come over in free agency. No disrespect to Castillo or anything like that, but I'd rather have it be someone, more homegrown. And I know JP Crawford is not homegrown, but, that might be the one, the one guy that isn't homegrown that I still like the other 4 that are. So. Feels good to have the Spinning Mariner logo. We haven't had a chance to put up anything baseball in a minute. Logan battled those demons early in the season, and then towards the end of the year, he was our best pitcher. He was on a tear where he was winning like his last 8, 9, 10 starts. Towards the end of the year, and he struggled. Pretty good early on, and then hit a wall. And then I don't know if he was going through some depression or just wasn't enjoying the game, wasn't getting the run support. But every pitcher wasn't really getting the run support, whether it was Logan Gilbert, Kirby, Castillo, Miller, Wu. I mean. It's like you guys know, for the people that hang out with me during the streams, what's the magic number? 7 to 10 hits, 5 runs or more. And if we don't hit that, we don't win. But I feel that maybe we can go back to where maybe where Julio was like a rookie, where we can actually do pretty good in like 1-run games. I'm hoping that we have a very good record in 1-0 games, 2-1, 3-2, extra innings. And if we can go back to that, I know that we can end up making the playoffs. So. Oh, yeah. And most outsiders, even if they don't like the Mariners, based off, people looking at their pitching staff and the Mariners, I would say most of outside fans respect what we have. But again, it's not going to, it's not going to come into fruition unless the batting helps out the pitching and vice versa. So we can't have amazing pitching and have like 11 Ks, and 1 hitter, and then we can't even get a run. Because that's what it feels like, whenever we get a big accomplishment and all we need is just minimal hitting and we never get it. Or, we end up getting a lot of hits, right, and a lot of runs, but then the pitcher gives up just as many or more, and then, or the relievers, and then we lose. So, like all of a sudden we're up 5-0. Oh, we're going to win. And then all of a sudden in 3 innings, in the 8th and the 9th and in extras, and then all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and you were up 5-0 and then you lose 6-5. You're like, what the fuck happened? But that's baseball, right? Ready, man. I am ready. God, the Mariners aren't playing tomorrow. Woo, woo, woo. And it'll be cool to be able to see the progression of Woo as well. Woo, woo, woo. Go, Woo. We need you. Nice. How long has he been practicing this knuckle? I haven't seen any footage of him throwing it yet, but I imagine I will. And make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health because you only have one. Honestly, if you ended up using the streaming link, that is available, and if you ended up not necessarily paying attention to everything that's happening throughout the game, but if you just turn it on while I'm streaming, you'd be really surprised on how much you would learn on anything that we do that's not your wheelhouse. Like if you just turn on one of the links while we're doing the game, and even though you may not be into NASCAR or baseball or hockey, but if you actually watch the games with us while you're chatting, you'd be really shocked on how much information and things you can learn on the fly. I mean, that's all we do here is analytics and statistics. So I would encourage most of the people to, if they have the ability to watch whatever event that we're doing at the same time. You don't have to, you can just be on the background, or on another screen, but you'd be really shocked at what you would be able to learn if you just pay attention. Oilers in the building. What's good? We're just waiting for intermission to get wrapped up. Morgan Geeky, first goal. Warren Fogle to tie it up 1-1. And we're going to be out of intermission here in just a few minutes. Austin Matthews. He's good. Matthews has got, fastest American-born to 50 goals in a season. Austin Matthews, 54 this season, 62 in 2021, 2022. And then Stevens was 62 and 92. Wow. This is what I'm waiting for tomorrow, baby. Let me see what you're going to do. And it sounds like he's going to have about 50 at-bats in the Cactus Grapefruit League. So he's not going to probably be playing all the time, but it'll definitely be interesting to see what he does when he's out there. Ohtani balls are going to be very coveted. Foul balls, home run balls, balls thrown into the crowd. I'm not sure if Ohtani will have that role. Unless we actually see that in the games and whatnot, but they usually designate a particular player to do that. But all right, we're knotted up at one. Anything else that anyone wants to see? Anything else reflect that you want to see, brother? Got you. We'll see if Pasta and Connor McDavid can get a goal here in the second period. Let me delete some of these other baseball photos. feel with like baseball, it comes around a lot quicker, because like you get it from March, April, all the way to October, and then it's like November, December, January, February. You're already consumed with football, and then as soon as football is over, boom, baseball. Here it is. So I feel like with baseball, you don't feel like you're waiting 4 months, even though it is 4 months that you have to wait. So. Take a look at the schedule here for the NHL and the MLB in the next couple days. So we're going to do Canucks Kraken tomorrow at 7. I might do the Dodgers Padres tomorrow also, maybe. Friday, there's nothing really good on the hockey slate. So we'll probably do MLB on Friday. Padres Dodgers is on at 12:05, which is really early. All the games are on at noon, but that's probably what we'll do on Friday then. We'll do Padres Dodgers. So if I don't do it tomorrow and just watch it with Paisley, we'll do Padres Dodgers on Friday on ESPN at 12. And then Saturday, the Mariners and the White Sox play at 12. I'll probably do that. And then what about the NHL? Let me look. And then we got a WWE pay-per-view at 1:30 in the morning in Australia on Saturday. So Wild and Kraken on Saturday night. So MSU in the building. What's good? Yeah, well, especially when you have an opportunity to watch two of the GOATs that are in the NHL right now, and Connor McDavid and David Pastrnak. Yeah, I'll be here. Best matchup of all the games, today. So, it is a little late, hell, even for me, but for the others, it's really late, 7:22 start, which would be 9:22 or 10:22 if you're in the Midwest or the East Coast. So. All right, here we go. Second period. Wow, just like that. 2-1 Boston. That was way too fast. You kidding me? Wow. Marchand, I had a feeling that he was going to score tonight. We mentioned that, about 15 minutes ago, and there he is. 2-1 Bruins. Wow. All right, Brad. If it's not going to be Pasta, you best believe Marchand is going to be the guy next up to be able to get a goal, and there he is. That was way too fast. Right past Skinner. Nice job. Way to come out of the intermission with some electricity, baby. 2-1 Boston. Brad Marchand assisted by Danton Hyman. 2-1 Bruins. Maybe a little bit of a makeup for Judah's Bruins. When last time we did the Bruins and we did a number 1 versus a number 1, they got obliterated. So maybe this is a little bit of payback, even though it's two different teams. The Pistons, yeah. Man, I don't know if I could. I have a hard time even watching Blazer games anymore, but fucking being a Piston fan, that would be, the only way that I would be watching the Pistons is if I had a money line bet or if I had a parlay. I don't know if they're, they are tough to watch. But hell, the Blazers are too, and they're terrible as well. 2-1 Bruins. $15 shots on goal for Boston, 12 for Edmonton. We got baseball starting tomorrow with the Padres and the Dodgers. What are we sitting at for the likes? Let's try to get to 15 if we can. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X. And then if we can somehow get to 15, even though this is a super late stream, then obviously the end goal would be 20. But you obviously have to have enough people to get to that point. So. Good defense there. Skinner. 45. Let's get to a hundo. 55 to go. Yeah, because I mean, if I had to do NBA games every single night after the NFL season and college football season ended, I probably would end up getting depression. Like, no lie. So thank God for hockey. Thank God for WWE and AEW. And thank God for MLB. And hell, thank God for NASCAR. I mean, I could think of many, many things that I would rather watch than the NBA. I mean, but I know it'll get a little bit spicier as we get into the playoffs and the finals. But it's just nice to know that we're not required and we don't have to fall back on that, because that would be, man, I don't even know how basketball streamers do it, unless you're like a bandwagon fan of a team or something. Yes, I did see that, and he gained supposedly like 3.5, whatever the metric system is based off his bat speed and whatnot. They were going over film, and he definitely looks skinnier. Big Dumper looks a little bit skinnier. But one thing that we can all come to an agreement is if you've seen the pictures of any of the players, the jerseys and pants are absolutely horrible this year. Like the pants are see-through, cheap quality, and the jerseys are terrible, thin, and then the graphics on them look terrible, and the placement of the logos and the numbers and everything is terrible as well. But I guess that's what happens when you have to go through Fanatics. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if the players don't care, we don't care. And that's why, the All-Star Weekend is undefeated. MLB is by far the best. I would go MLB number one by a landslide, and then you go down 2 or 3 pegs, and then you go NHL's All-Star Weekend, and then I can't even talk about the Pro Bowl or the NBA. I mean, I guess on the NBA, the best part of the NBA All-Star Weekend is the three-point contest, or like Sabrina and Steph. Those are the only 2 things that are slightly entertaining. And then obviously Mac McClung, one guy out of the 4 in the dunk contest, but that's pretty sad when you only have a couple things, and it's not even like the best players. You're not going to see a Levine and Aaron Gordon ever again, or a Dominique Jordan or anything like that. But like I said, if the players don't care, then the fans aren't going to care, and it shows. So. Chelios, yeah. Yeah. Well, 3-1. There's another goal. Wow. Like that? Trent Frederick. This is crazy, man. Maybe I was hoping that you were going to show up. I had a feeling that they were going to start popping off, and we did a game for you finally, and then they got their ass kicked, and that sucked. So this is a little bit of maybe payback from the sports gods. Trent Frederick, golly, Bruins, 3-1. I got Marchand. I already knew Marchand was going to score today. You're not even getting anything from Pasta yet. That's what's scary. Nice job, Frederick. I just tried pulling up like 8 photos of Trent, and they were all garbage. I couldn't get any of them to format. I don't know why Trent is so protected, but 3-1 Bruins. I'll eventually find one here. Maybe I got to find one of him beating the shit out of somebody. He likes to put that discipline in his own hands. Golly, how many is it going to take for me to get one? Golly. 10? 11? Jesus Christ. Come on, Trent. There we go. So 12th photo finally went through. I don't think I've ever gone through that many without getting at least one to format. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's going on with Trent, but hey, it took me 12 photos to get. But yeah, baby. Let's go. 3-1 Bruins. I see you, Trent, assisted by Jesper Boquist and Charlie McAvoy. 3-1 Boston. And Pasta hasn't even gotten going yet. That's scary. Pasta. Marchand says, no problem. Trent says, no problem. We'll pick up the slack. And I might beat the shit out of somebody. Yes. I can't wait, man. I'm going to be watching a lot. Like a lot. My dad is into it too. Like we talked today. And no, some people don't give a shit about preseason baseball, but for some of us that love it, and we've been watching for a long, long time. Like my dad's been watching the Dodgers since the 50s. I've been watching Mariners and Dodgers since the mid 80s. So we're definitely excited for tomorrow. Oh, Tacoma Rainiers. Nice. Oh, here we go. Here we got to fight. Witherspoon and Perry. Oh, shit. Oh. Damn, Witherspoon's taking 3 shots to the face. Come on, punch back. There we go. 2. Get him on the ground. 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 5. Oh, he hit him hard. 6. Oh, they punch each other in the face at least 3 times each. Pretty good. Let him fight. Ah. Ring the bell. There we go. Yes. Perry. And then Witherspoon is like, all right, man, you want to fight? You tried to injure me before? You want to jab me in the chin? I'll jab you back. Hey, all right, but let's throw the gloves down then. Perry just started punching even before Witherspoon was even ready for it. So he got a couple good licks in, but I don't know how square they were. But then once he got his bearings, then he won that fight. But he definitely took a couple of shots because, Perry threw the gloves off like prematurely, like before, he was even like ready to, get into a defensive position. But that was a good comeback there. Yeah, not happening. Not happening. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The fights are one of the best things, but the thing is like I like the fights, it's like when they do a couple jabs and then the refs come in right away. I like it when they end up fighting for like 3-4 minutes, where they just let them go. And then the refs just get out of the picture. The cameraman zooms in, and then you get to see them throw like 30 punches each. That's the type of fights that I like to see. You know what I mean? And then if someone gets knocked to the ground, you already know at some point they have to come in because they don't want anyone to get cut by the blades, wiggling on the ground and whatnot. Because obviously, that is a fear for some of the guys too. You got all the padding on you, but it's not like we haven't seen a serious injury from the blade of a skate hitting somewhere on the body and having blood get exposed. So, but when they stand their ground and they're face to face and they're just haymaker after haymaker, those are the best. Like when Connor Bedard got hurt and they broke his jaw. That game had the best fight of the year. That probably had the most fights that I've seen all season. There was like 10, and they at least let them fight that long 5-6 minute fight in that particular game. And I haven't seen a fight as long as that matchup after they broke Bedard's jaw with the Blackhawks. I'm trying to remember who the Blackhawks played. I'd have to go back and look at my streams, but that was the best fight that I've seen this year with that Connor Bedard matchup. And then that one was all right. You know what I mean? But I'm glad they at least let him go. All right, Boston power play. Less than 13 minutes to go. 3-1 Bruins. All right, we're gonna give the Oilers a little love too. We'll go back and forth with the logos. Unfortunately, they didn't have any cool spinning logos of the Oilers or the Bruins, unfortunately, but hopefully someone will make one at one point. Come on, Pasta. Pasta tried right there, but fell down. Oh, it fell down again. Come on, Pasta. Yeah, and I'll be doing over 110 Mariner games throughout the season. You know, of course, there's going to be some games where I might end up doing Dodgers. I imagine I'll do over 100 games of the Mariners. We'll probably end up doing 10 to 20 for the Dodgers, and then probably 5 to 10 of the others: Braves, Cardinals, Yankees, Padres, for all the other favorite teams of the people that are in the room. Obviously it'll be the Mariners, whoever they play, and then the Dodgers for my dad. And then we'll definitely cater to some of y'all and your favorite teams too. So 19 shots on goal for Boston with 3 goals. That's a great percentage. 14 shots on goal for the Oilers. I mean, the only way Edmonton is coming back in this game is if Connor McDavid can catch some fire. That's the only way. He's got to be like Ovechkin, where he's got 8 goals in 8 games. You got to be like that. If you ain't scoring like that, there is no comeback. I mean, Boston doesn't look like they're slowing down one bit. And Boston's got more injuries than Edmonton on top of that, too. Hits for Boston, 12 for Edmonton. Penalty minutes, 9 for the Oilers, 7 for the Bruins. Me too. I'm on season 2 finally. So I restarted True Blood because I don't know, man. Like, I just have certain shows that, like, True Blood, Game of Thrones, Dexter, the new Dexter, Grimm. There's just going to be certain shows that I love, and then no matter how many shows I watch, I always fall back to one of my favorite shows. So, but right now I'm watching those. And what did I watch last night? The season debut of The Good Doctor. It's on ABC. It's kind of like a Grey's Anatomy type show. It's got the one kid from Bates Motel. Awesome show. Like I said, I like to watch a lot of different variety. But the season, it debuted last night, season 7 of The Good Doctor, and they have it on late. It like debuts at like 10 p.m. Or like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. I think it was from 10 to 11 or something like that. And then I know Grey's Anatomy is on next month, season 20. And I know some of you guys are probably like, damn, this guy watches Grey's? Yeah, I do. And then I also watch Station 19 with the firehouse and all that stuff. So, anything that's new, and especially when the writers went on strike, I like to have a little variety in the bucket. It doesn't have to be all sports all the time. So, but Good Doctor was very good last night, which I already assumed it would be. And Grey's and Station 19 is going to be phenomenal next month. Yeah, I think the first season's got like 10 to 12 episodes or something like that. I don't know. I have to go back to see where I'm at. Or let me look real quick. Let me see where I'm at on Deadwood. Yeah, and then I still got to do that. I have to get into that too as well. All right, hold on. And then Good Doctor. Let's see here. All right, got less than 11 minutes to go. 3-1 Bruins. All right, let's see what's on. Let's see what's on tap for me. All right, so I got True Blood, regular show, Deadwood, Blue Planet, Planet Earth, Ninja Turtle cartoon from '87, Rick and Morty. I try to mix in a little bit of what I got. What am I on? I'm on season 2, episode 1. for Deadwood. So I finally got in. There's 3 seasons. So again, it started off a little slow for me, where I was like, I kind of lost a little interest, but then the story started to pick up, and then I'm so invested now. So I just haven't had a show that is like acclaimed to be good take so long for me to get into it. And I know what Westerns are about, and it's not going to be like my number one choice, and it just depends on if it's like an old school Western or something like Yellowstone, where it's like more modern day, and obviously when you watch those type of shows, there's going to be booze, women, there's going to be corruption, guns, people getting killed, and all kinds of craziness. Cowboy shit. And I'm here for it. 3-1 Bruins. Who's your favorite character in Deadwood? And if you notice, some of the characters in Deadwood are in other, shows. Obviously, it's an older show, but one of the guys that ended up having the disease in the show, and he was having like like I don't want to say like tremors, but he was like kind of going through convulsions and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that guy is the same guy that was in Mayans MC, where he was like the guy that worked for the FBI. So there's a lot of people that I recognize from like other shows that I've watched, within the last 3 to 4 years, since I'm kind of late to the party on Deadwood, but I definitely like it. Ooh, Tulsa Kings. I saw that in my recommendations too. I was about to say Jane is one of my favorites too, because she's always drunk and she's always fucking screaming. She's always got something fucking funny to say, no matter what's going on. Yeah, she's definitely, I was going to say, she's definitely one of my favorites in the show as well. And then obviously the male leads in the show are fantastic for what they're doing. Slashing. I don't know, I just feel it has to be a show, that I can connect to. And once I connect to the characters, then I'm fully invested. It's like normally it's like I got plenty of other things to watch rather than like Good Doctor or like Grays or or Station 19. But I feel it's like once you get invested in something, I like to see it in completion. Once I start something, I like to finish it. I don't like to just start something and then just leave it hanging. So. And plus, it's like those are the only shows that are kind of like that, where you get a little bit of the drama in the ER, but then you get to see kind of their personal lives, in the hospital and then outside of the hospital. And then obviously the Station 19 one is cool because it shows like different situations, with different things blowing up and different situations they have to save people and whatnot. So it's just kind of a refreshing, something different, to kind of keep you going. And there's been a lot of shows that were on hiatus because of the strike, the writers' strike. So I'm really, really happy that we are starting to get a lot of the shows for that spring, that we're getting now, and then we'll get more, obviously in the fall lineup, as well. So you, hey, the certain shows will do that, because a lot of times, you'll dream about the last thing you thought about. So if you were watching something or if you were thinking about somebody, if you've noticed in your dreams, if you remember your dreams, I remember my dreams every night. I know some people don't, but my dreams are pretty vivid. And even though you feel like the dream is lasting an hour or two, in reality, it's only lasting like 30 seconds or less. Like you go through these like little spurts of like what you remember, but it seems like it's longer, like in that subconsciousness and whatnot. But there's definitely certain things that I've noticed that most people like don't see themselves in a mirror. Most people don't read anything, and most people, and I know some people have been able to read in their dreams, but I've never have, and I've never seen myself in a mirror, and I think most people haven't either. I don't know if that has something to do with the subconscious and whatnot, but I'm thinking like I don't think anyone has ever seen themselves in a mirror in a dream ever. I mean, I've never heard of anybody that has, but I have heard of people that have read, and then when they look at something like a phone or like a book, sometimes they can read and remember, and sometimes the text changes while they're reading and changing the pages, supposedly. I don't know. Never happened to me, though. All right, we got 9 minutes to go in the second period. 3-1 Bruins, 21 shots on goal for Boston, 15 for Edmonton. And if there's any other new shows in the spring lineup, please comment below. ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. If there's anything that's worth watching, comment below and let me know. So if I've missed anything, I can keep up on that. I mean, there's not a lot of shows that are like comedies that are really that good anymore. The Neighborhood. I watch that, but I mean, you're not going to get a lot of shows like Seinfeld and Friends and that type of vibe. I really like the Goldbergs when the Goldbergs was running, but I don't get to see Barry anymore. Barry's my boy. McDavid in the power play. I'm impressed with Swayman, your goaltender. I mean, I already seen Skinner last year in the playoffs and what they were, able to do, but pretty impressed. Another save. Wow. I can't really get into Bob Hart's Abishola because I watched Mike and Molly, and Mike and Molly was good, but I mean, I can't get invested in that show. Neighborhood, I can, and I'm not into Young Sheldon. I can do Big Bang Theory, but I can't get into those other two shows. I mean, I got a lot of stuff that I watch on many, many different types of apps and networks. So it's like unless it's like really, really good, probably if it's just going to be something in the background. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of those, but yeah, I have never got invested in the Bob Hart's Abishola. I have heard it's decent, but again, if I'm going to watch, a show like that, I can just go back and watch Mike and Molly, and it'll be better. I haven't. Who's in Ghosts? Who's in that? All right, got less than 20 seconds in the power play here. And then Young Sheldon, yeah, I just never really could get into that. I can't buy into that particular actor that they brought in. But like Big Bang Theory, I love. I love that show when it was going. How I Met Your Mother, and those type of shows. Friends. The writing. What is it? Is Ghost? Is it a comedy? I think I saw a commercial for it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is a show that I probably would check out then. Because I got to have good writing. Like the writing is very important to me, and especially if it doesn't have anyone that I recognize. But as long as it's written well and scripted well, then I'll be invested. So, what network is that on? How do I watch that? What network is it on? And because I mean, I have cable here, but I also have streaming apps of many. So, but still, I got to go through Deadwood, and I'm kind of going through Deadwood and True Blood again. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched True Blood from beginning to end, but I don't know. I just connect with the characters, and once you have a show like that, whether it be Game of Thrones or Dexter, I can rewatch those from the very beginning, and I still enjoy them just as much as when I watched them when they were live on TV. Less than 7 minutes to go. 3-1 Bruins. CBS. Yeah, like that. CBS and Paramount Plus. Okay, I got Paramount Plus, so and I got CBS and obviously in the living room. So Yellowstone is great. I've watched every episode of that show. Great characters, great vibe. The probably the best cowboy show currently, like based off a current timeline. I haven't seen a show that good based off current times, not 1800 cowboy or 1900 cowboy type of times. So But again, if Yellowstone didn't have a good cast and good writing, it wouldn't be as good as it is. So a woman from the 20s, a guy from the 80s, a Viking, a revolutionary. Oh yeah, so it's going to be good. I can imagine, and then obviously they are going to have different dialect and the way that they speak and act and whatnot. All right, you sold me, bro. That might be the next one that I go to. I like to laugh. I mean, shit, I restarted Workaholics and I watched all 7 or 8 seasons within like a week. Like I fucking binged the shit out of that, where I was watching Workaholics like 4 hours a day every day for like a week. But again, if it's gonna make me laugh and I like the characters, then I'm gonna be invested. I used to watch the original, but I can't get invested in the new one. I got mad memories from the old one, the original one in the 80s. Less than 6 minutes to go. Oh, baby. Wow. Judah, 4-1. The sports gods are liking your recommendations, and they are loving your Bruins tonight. I'm happy that you hopped in. I was hoping that you were going to be able to hop in, but when you didn't hop in right away, I was like, shit, maybe he's sleeping or it's just on too late. But you deserve this, man, because like I said, I purposely did that other Boston matchup where it was number one versus number one in the division, and you got obliterated. So it's a little bit of payback. And what a matchup! Nice job, dude. Jake DeBrusk with a wrister. Pasta with the assist, as well as Wotherspoon. Paka. They are kicking ass and taking names. They're kind of good. All right, let's see if I can find a photo. That won't take me 18 photos to be able to. Let's see what we can get for DeBrusk. All right, Jake. Let me see what I can find. All right, come on, Jake. All right, perfect. The first one I choose right away. That's what I'm talking about. 4-1 Bruins. Woo, baby. Jake DeBrusk. I see you. Trent Frederick. I see you. Brad Marchand. I see you. And then Morgan Geeky with the first one. Bang, bang. Oh, I still got to get a Morgan Geeky photo. Let me get that too. Or maybe I tried and I couldn't find a good one. 0 for 2. 0 for 3. 0 for 4. Oh, baby. There's a goal. All right. Now that damn Fogel. Fogel with 2 goals in this game. Damn it, McLovin. All right, Fogel. I was gonna say at some point Edmonton can't just like roll over and die, you know. All right. There he is. Geeky. Marchand. Frederick. And DeBrusk. That's crazy that Pasta hasn't even scored and they have 4. Wow. All right, Fogey. All right, let me get a Fogel up here too. McLovin. DeBrusque in front of the fam. All right. Well, Fogel's got two. That means that Connor McDavid needs to have two. Otherwise, they're never going to be able to catch up in time. 6 goals, and we're only in the second period. Let's go. Oh, Super Bad is great. Super Bad is great. It never gets old. Shit, I haven't watched Napoleon Dynamite in like 10 years. I probably should watch that again too. Vote for Pedro. There we go. That other photo didn't format properly. All right, Fogel. 4-2 Bruins. Lots of action. I had a feeling that this would be pretty high scoring. And I got a bunch of pastas, for images and stuff that I can use in the future, and obviously a brand new image there. And I got like 2 or 3. I've been working on them and whatnot. So I'm very excited to be able to debut some of those other pastas that I got in the future. You're taking care of your mental health, baby. Oh, Dad is crying. That's awesome. DeBrusque's dad kind of looked like a heavier set Nick Lachey. All right, baby. All right, 4-2 Bruins. A little bit of Oiler love, a little bit of Bruins love. Yeah, I can watch these teams all day, just like when I do the Devils for Odin. It's like I can be a Kraken fan, but I can still enjoy the Avalanche, the Stars. I can still, do the Devils. I can do Boston. I can do Edmonton. As long as if there's a superstar player, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, or even a phenom on the up and up like Connor Bedard, yeah, I can easily enjoy, doing a game. And hell, it can even be a lower ranked team as long as there's some players that are worth watching. Electric matchup already. 24 shots on goal. Boston got 4 goals. Unbelievable. Less than 2 minutes to go in the second period, 4-2 Bruins. Oh, I did not know that. Come on, McDavid. Get in there. Good defense by the Bruins. That's what I'm talking about. When you end up having teammates that help your goalie out, so that way you don't have 3, offensive players swinging the stick, like nonstop. And if you got 3 guys right there, trying to get a goal, and they're swinging, you can't expect a goalie to stop every attempt. A minute to go. 4-2 Bruins. I'm so happy that this wasn't like a 1-0 game or 0-0, but there's way too much talent with Pasta and with Connor McDavid and company on both of these rosters to be sitting at 0 at this point. We haven't had really too many bad hockey streams as far as like the end result. We've got a couple, but I would say 95% of the matchups we stream end up being good games. I'm impressed. And sometimes, when you're at home, you can get a little lazy and maybe be a little overconfident. And like Judah was mentioning, the Bruins didn't have a very good homestand, but then when you go on the road and it's like everyone against us, sometimes you can have a little bit more focus, with your team. Everyone's booing you. You're the road team, and sometimes getting that extra focus, you get better results, and that's what we're getting out of the Bruins tonight. You know what's a good one to watch that's new? It's called Royal Crackers. Royal Crackers is worth watching. I think the new season started or it's gonna start pretty soon, and it's on like late, like on Adult Swim at like midnight. But it's hilarious. I'm always looking for any type of entertainment, whatever it may be, and it's pretty rare that I can find a new cartoon that's come out within the last couple of years that I can compare to some of the ones that are goated. But Royal Crackers, I feel, is one of the better ones, as far as being a newer cartoon. If you end up watching like Adult Swim or if you watch some of that stuff. Skinner losing some confidence in himself. 4-2 Bruins. 21 seconds left in the second period, and then we can throw up some more photos for y'all. Zaka, Pasta, Lore. I mean, what's the last time the Bruins and the Oilers played, right? And Pasta and Connor McDavid haven't really been a big factor. I mean, we get some assists, but no goals yet. Let me look at the assists. Connor McDavid's got one assist. Does he have one or two? No, one. Hyman got the other one. So at least McDavid has an assist. And then what about Pasta? Pasta's got an assist, I believe, as well. So even though they don't have goals, but they both have assisted, he assisted on the DeBrusque goal. So 3 more likes to 15. Let's get there. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people that are in the room. Shout out to the goats spending time with your boy. All right, end of the second period, 4-2 Bruins. All right, let me know what you guys want to do for photos. It can be literally anything. We want to do food. We can do food. I mean, sometimes we do food at the end of the stream, but since it's so late, we can do whatever. So MLS started. Yeah, I saw a little thing on my phone that something about Messi, but I didn't get to see any highlights or whatever since I'm working. So. Not really a huge fan of soccer, but I'll keep up on what's going on. I like the World Cup, but, as far as MLS, I don't really follow it on a daily basis. We need some nachos? All right, let's do it. Maybe some pasta for pasta. Nachos and pasta. I gotta check up on Paisley too here. Came in the room a couple times. She missed his dad, but up a couple photos of food, and then I'll check up on her, and then I'll be right back. So I'll throw up some food here first. Yeah. Well, we did some Ronaldo and Messi, reaction videos, way back in the day. I don't mind doing soccer reactions or like rugby. Like I said, I had a lot of rugby stuff, and I like to be able to do a little bit of everything. I've been grinding for 12 years. So this is my 8th year on YouTube, so not my first rodeo for sure. Took me 10 years to go full time. Long time, man. It looks good. That'll be another thing that I need to, get off the bucket list, and since I'm on this like different type of diet and everything, but can't go wrong with nachos though. I'm gonna go check up on Paisley here real quick, and then hopefully it won't take us too long to get into the third period, and hopefully Boston will hold on for not only me but for Judah. All right, give me a minute. Let me check up on my pup, and I'll be right back. A few more minutes until we get into the third period. Honey, roasted honey pulled pork. Looks amazing. I got a buffalo style. That buffalo sauce. Anyone with the coleslaw, he said. Sean Kemp. Get some Hawaiian food up here for Matt. Yeah, I'm getting hella hungry now. Yeah, I got you, man. I'll always take care of you, bro. I got to squeeze these in for Matt before we get into the third period. You're lucky you're my boy. Your lucky day, you'll get 2 today. All right. One more. I got you, bro. 4-2. We're in the third period now. Soak that in. right, here we go. All right, Boston. Time to stay aggressive. I got you, bro. Hope you guys enjoyed the photos while we waited. A little bit of food never hurt anybody. All right, here we go. Last period. Where are we at on the likes? How far away are we from 15? All right, 3 more. All right, less than 19 minutes to go. 25 shots on goal for the Bruins, 22 for the Oilers. I mean, Connor McDavid needs to step up like now if they want to have any chance of making this a game. I saw that. Big brawl. Emotions were running high in that. Judah, how do you feel about your goalie? Do you like Swayman a lot? What does Swayman rank compared to all the other goalies in the NHL this year? I mean, you have firsthand look at watching the Bruins on the daily. Where would you rank him, based off goalies this season? I mean, obviously Boston wouldn't be able to be in first place if they didn't have any, good goalie play. So, they're getting chippy. Oh, they're fighting again. Punches thrown. Oh, oh, oh. Two identical goalies. Who do you like better out of the two? Chippy, 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 chippy. You like the other one more? Well, that's a pretty good luxury when you got two that are beast mode. I mean, if Gru for the Kraken plays well, you got him and Joey, but I don't think they're on the level of your guys. All right, less than 18 minutes to go. 4-2 Bruins. We got to make sure that Judah gets at least a win when I do a Bruins game on the stream. Mariners Red Sox will be fun this year. We can end up having some fun when we do those streams. Then it'll give me a chance to throw up Mike Greenwell picks for you and like old school stuff. Gonna see if there's anything else on the headlines or anything that's posted. Obviously, we know it's super late. Judah's just chilling, watching Four Cats and watching the Bruins play at 12:30 in the middle of the night. Hanging out with your boy. Appreciate you. So how is there like is it challenging being able to watch four different cats for your buddy when he's on vacation? I mean, it's one thing to watch one cat, but I guess it just depends on their personality and if they're all over the place or if they just kind of loaf around. That's a lot of cats, man. Four cats. I mean, I only got one dog, and Paisley's a handful, but dogs and cats are different. Oh wow, oh wow, man! You got a cat sanctuary there. Then they're all vibing with each other. Then the cat potty. 16 minutes to go. Yeah. Any dogs or just straight up cats? I would assume with that many cats, probably no dogs are in the house, or I guess it just depends on where you live. Swayman with another save. Oh, you go to his place. Oh, okay, I got you. I was gonna say, damn, bro. I was gonna say like 8 in one house or apartment or condo. That's a shitload of responsibility. 26 shots on goal for the Bruins, 23 for the Oilers. As long as Boston stays on the offensive, they should be fine. The momentum has shifted a little bit to Edmonton, but kind of feels it might be a little too late. But you don't want to let Connor McDavid get going because once he gets that first goal of the night, he might get the second one pretty quick after that. Swayman with another good defensive play. McDavid getting frustrated. What's the graphic on Swayman's mask? They showed a little close up of it, as it went in there for McDavid. But I always like the goalie masks. They always are so colorful and creative, based off that goalie's personality and what he likes. Like cool that the NHL lets him have fun with it. Okay, I'm seeing it now. Ooh, look at that. Edmonton Oilers are on an 8-game home win streak, and it's about to end. As long as Boston can stay aggressive here, baby. No dogs. 17, 6, and 7. Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, but anytime now moving forward, anything Boston related, I'll definitely be thinking of you first. And yeah, and I'm glad that we have you a part of the channel because then it just gives me another opportunity to get more knowledge and more game film on another good quality team in the NHL. And then obviously with the other teams that you follow also. So I imagine there'll be a few Red Sox Mariner games that we'll be able to be in the room together and watch and enjoy. As long as your Red Sox don't beat the shit out of the Mariners, we'll be good. But I mean, knowing the Mariners, I already know what I'm getting myself into. So either we have hitting and no pitching, pitching and no hitting, or no hitting and no pitching. It's never really both. So, or hitting and pitching are great, but then the bullpen sucks. So it's like, fuck. 14 minutes to go. Less than 14. 4-2 Bruins. Swayman 17, 6 and 7, and then Olmark is 16. Damn. Why can't we have goalies like that? That's what Seattle needs. It's like I love Joey Decord and Grubauer, but at some point, we may need to be able to, upgrade or add another piece and just see, because if Seattle ever wants to be one of the top teams, they have to improve in many, many areas. Bruins defense has been spectacular today. I don't think I've seen Connor McDavid this frustrated in a game all year. Oh, there it is. CC 4-3. Uh-oh. That momentum, that Uncle Mo. 4-3 now. Oh, CC. That's what happens. We start talking about how good the goalies are doing, then they give up a goal. Isn't that how it always works? We start to give praise for a player, and then all of a sudden they fuck up right then. Or it's like you watch a baseball game or a hockey game, and the announcer, says something, and like, don't jinx it, and then all of a sudden that thing happens. Oh, he just couldn't get back in time, Swayman. 4-3 Boston. What a game. Momentum has definitely shifted over to Edmonton, so the Boston can't just be passive. If they're passive, Edmonton will tie this up, and then if it goes to overtime, they will win. So Boston needs to make sure that they can stop the bleeding here at some point. Otherwise, it's going to be tied up at 4-4 really quick. Good defense. Oh, Matthias Janmark, assisted by Cody CC. 4-3 Bruins. Oh, Skinner with the save. 12:40 left in regulation. This is wild. No Connor McDavid goals yet, and no Pasta goals yet, and still we have 7 goals scored in this matchup. Janmark. See if I can find one of Janmark. All they got to do is just stop the bleeding here and stay on the offensive. But again, momentum has shifted to Edmonton. They went Boston, Edmonton, Boston, 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 but the last 2 goals have been from Edmonton. They got to stop the bleeding, man. Let me delete some of these other food photos. Nice that we got those in during the intermission, at least at one point. Good for my mental health. No McDavid goals yet. No Pasta goals yet. But we have a 4-3 matchup in the third period with 12:36 to go. And maybe whatever superstar steps up will be the team that wins tonight. Sean in the building. What's good? You got a parlay? 8.5. Fuck, 9 goals. No, I don't think it's gonna go. I don't think it's gonna go 9 goals. I mean, unless it goes to overtime. I think that's the only way that we're gonna get that. They would, well, 8.5 or, oh, and there it is. 4-4. Wow. Yes. Well, now it will. I said, no, it won't, but now it will because I didn't think they were going to score that quick. Wow. Corey Perry, literally a minute and 10 after Janmark's goal. There's Corey's. Well, there you go. They do got the momentum now. I just figured it would be another 6 minutes or so before we got another goal, not a minute later. So, yes, you will get it now. We're not enough at 4. Uh-oh. I mean, they're on an 8-game win streak at home. Judah, your Bruins, they got to keep fighting. Because remember, it started off with, Geeky and Fogle, Bruins, Edmonton. Then you went Bruins with Marchand, Frederick, and DeBrus, right? And then Fogle again, Janmark, and now Perry. We got ourselves a game. Your last leg. Yep. And you already know you won because someone's going to end up getting the goal to win 5-4 at the very least. But, I mean, I don't know. We might end up having a 6-5 final, based on the pace of the game. But I was going to say, if you didn't get a goal within the first 6 minutes after that last one, then probably not. But that's how hockey works sometimes, right? Sometimes you can get a goal, and they come in groups. And sometimes you can get a goal, and then 30 seconds to a minute later, you get another one. And then you may go 20 minutes with nothing. So $45, 55 to go. Good save. 31 shots on goal for Edmonton, 28 for Boston, 4-4 matchup. Definitely lived up to the billing of being the best hockey matchup for tonight. Now, I would like to see, Pasta get a goal and McDavid to get a goal. You would think that you would have at least a goal, if you're at 4-4 from each of the superstars. But maybe they're just waiting, for the third period to make their mark. Third period goal differential, Edmonton, number 2 in the league with a plus 23. Holy shit. Less than 11 minutes to go. Knotted up at 4. God, it has a playoff atmosphere for sure. And I said that within the first 2 minutes. You could just tell. They were kind of at each other's throats. The passing was crisp. They were very aggressive. Lots of body checks. Lots of guys going to the ground. Quite a few fights. Who's going to have the best goalie play here in the last 10? Which superstar will step up, Pasta or McDavid? But Boston had the momentum in the second period at one point, but everything has disappeared. Now they're getting chippy again. 55 to go. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X and the people that are in the room as well. If you haven't smashed the like button, please do. We need 2 more people to do it to get to 15. So if there's 2 people in the room that haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Anytime we can get close to 20, obviously 20 or more is going to be the goal on every stream that we do, regardless of how many people are watching. And that'll help us with the algorithm as well. Pasta, 4 shots. He needs to get something going. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third period. We're knotted up at 4. Will there be overtime? Big save. But this is definitely one of the, we've done many, many, many NHL streams, but I think this is one of the very few that felt like a playoff game from the very beginning. And Edmonton had to fight back to get to this point because at one point it looked like Boston was going to run away with it. Less than 9 minutes to go. 34 shots on goal for the Oilers. They caught up after being down on the shots on goal earlier in the matchup. 28 shots on goal for the Bruins. Line changes are going to be very critical, and maybe whoever ends up getting a critical power play in the last 5 minutes could end up being the winner to have that 5-4 advantage. Hell, we might get overtime. Oh, yeah. I mean, Boston had the momentum for the first two periods, but then kind of towards the end of the second period, and now obviously in the beginning of the third, it's been all Oilers, and we're not talking Houston. Great game. Glad we ended up doing this one. I mean, it's obviously late for people. It's what, 11:43 or 12:43 if you're on the East Coast right now. 9:43 here for me in Oregon. Janmark and Perry with goals in this third period. Man, this fucking game got me like this. All right, commercial break. Both teams are good. Oilers are third in their division. Boston's first. Last time we ended up doing a Boston game, they got obliterated. So, we'll see. They're very evenly matched. But I think this is the first time that I've watched either team play and their star player hasn't scored. Every game that I've done of Edmonton, I've seen Connor McDavid get a goal. And every Boston game, I think I've seen Pasta, get a goal, at least a goal. But we still got time. 8:29 left in the third and possibly overtime. Fogle has been really big for Edmonton. If Fogle didn't get it started right away, McLovin, then you already know what it would have been. So definitely set the tone for them early on. It's not over yet, though. Still time for Pasta to be the hero and end this win streak. Pasta leading the team in goals, assists, and in scoring. The triple threat. Marchand, you got to step up. You got one goal. Or maybe Jake. All right, here we go. Last stretch. 8 minutes to go. Who wants it more? $35 shots on goal for the Oilers, 28 for the Bruins. Game is kind of slipping through the Bruins' fingers here. They still have to stay aggressive. Because it has a feel that if this goes into overtime, I doubt Boston wins. Just based off the momentum and the vibe that you're getting, in this matchup. If Boston is going to win this game, they have to do it in regulation. That's just kind of the feeling that you get. There's Pasta. Get it in there. Kane with control. Pasta. There it is. There it is. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Pasta. Serve it up, baby. You want some chicken Alfredo? You want fucking regular Alfredo? You get all the fucking pasta from David today. There you go. Right when your team fucking needs you. That's what you do. That's what you do right there. 5-4 Bruins. All right, so now it's up to Connor McDavid to match. Right now we have a 5-4. Now we need to go to 5-5. Less than 7 minutes to go. $36 goal for Pasta. He's fucking awesome. Same thing with McDavid. Not sure why the score hasn't updated. Oh, baby! We're tied up at 5. Unbelievable. What the hell is going on here? Wow, we're tied up at 5. Unbelievable. Corey Berry, Zach Hyman. Wow. This game is very, very good. Why is the Boston goal not being updated? It's 5-5 right now. Two goals in 42 seconds. Wow, what a game. Playoff atmosphere, and it definitely is living up to the billing. 5 minutes to go. Less than 6 minutes to go. Scoreboard up above says 5-4, but I got 5-5 on the game, so I'm not sure what. I mean, I guess the guy working for ESPN went to go take a shit or whatever and said, fuck it. And you got to be able to have employees that are working on ESPN.com do their job. Less than 5 minutes to go. Knotted up at 5. Ignore the scoreboard above. It is 5-5. $36 shots on goal for the Oilers, 33 for the Bruins. This has been crazy. Probably one of the most entertaining games I've seen all year. But again, one team is first in their division, the other team is third. It kind of had a playoff feel from the very start. There it is. Scoreboard. He finally got done taking his shit. Finally updated the score up above. 5-5 now. Must have been a good one to take a bathroom break with like 5 minutes left in the third period. Or maybe wasn't anticipating anyone scoring, but Hyman, baby. Janmark, Berry, Pasta, and Hyman. Smash that like button if you can. You only need a couple more to get to 15 and a couple more after that to get to 20. What a game. So the only person that hasn't got on the board that normally does is Connor McDavid. So time for him to be the hero. Unbelievable. What a game. Another commercial break. Let me see if I can get a Zach Hyman on here too as well. But McDavid did get another assist, so it's not like he's not doing anything out there. I believe he's got 2 assists tonight. He does. First goal from Fogle in the first period, and then obviously that last goal from Hyman. There we go. I got a good Zach Hyman one now. What a game. Started off with Morgan Geekie right out of the gates, 1-0. Then Warren Fogle, McLovin. In the first period, we're knotted up at 1. Then Marchand, Frederick, DeBrusque, bang, 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 went up 4-1 Bruins with, 13:57. Then Fogle got his second goal to, kind of chip away 4-2. Then we went into the third period, and it's just been crazy. Janmark, Perry, and then they ended up going up. They tied it up 4-4. Pasta 5-4. Hyman 5-5. Unbelievable. Now the only person that doesn't have a goal that you would assume that would is this man right here, the GOAT, Connor McDavid. It's always fun watching McDavid and Pasta, McKinnon. 4:20 left. 3:08 in the third period. Like they had to refresh that. I was like, I thought we were 3 minutes left, not 4 minutes left. Different feeds. Yeah. Almost midnight there. But again, if you're a hockey fan, sometimes this is, the reality. But it's actually one of the games that would be worth watching if you stayed up. A lot of times you stay up late and it's not worth watching. And you're like, what did I do? I wasted my day. But I mean, this is arguably one of the best games that we've had all year. I'm trying to remember when the last time we had a game that was this competitive, even though it was 4-1 Bruins at one point in the second period. Huge comeback by the Oilers. And again, if they win, then they'll be on their 9th game in a row at home. So Bruins are trying to end the win streak for Edmonton at home. And they got 3 minutes to do it. Less than 3 now. Wow, 699 career points, goal and assist tonight. Pasta going to be at 700 career points, maybe even tonight. Good save by Skinner. Yeah, well, both goalies are having shit nights, but when you have talent like both of your guys' teams do, you can still have pretty good goalies, which, Boston does. But again, it's all about that momentum and that Uncle Mo. And Edmonton never gave up. Yeah, I believe he is. I'll have to take a quick look. All right. Less than 3 minutes to go. 37 shots on goal for Edmonton, 34 for the Bruins. We're knotted up at 5, and it's been a playoff atmosphere right from the very puck drop. Fights, goals, anything that you would really want in this matchup. The only thing that's missing is a Connor McDavid goal, even though he's got 2 assists so far tonight. Yeah. And you have to assume if it goes into overtime, Pasta can win it, for obviously Boston, and Connor McDavid can definitely win it for Edmonton. It's like he's been kind of getting close, and it took Pasta until the third period to get his goal. So Geeky, Fogle, Marchand, Frederick, DeBrusque, and then Fogle again. Fogle has been the MVP pretty much because at a point when they ended up getting the tied up 1-1 early on for Fogle, and then Fogle got it to be 4-2 to give them a little bit of momentum when they were down 4-1 that whole second period. So if it wasn't for Fogle, Edmonton is not tied up at this point. I mean, he has been kind of the MVP of the game so far, at least for Edmonton side. McDavid is hungry. Look at him. 2 minutes to go. Third period, knotted up at 5. All right, 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes to go. We're knotted up at 5. Bruins, Oilers. This would have been an amazing game to be at. McDavid is just itching. You can just feel it. Oh, 45 seconds left in the third period. Will we go to OT? I mean, the way the goals have been flying, across the board, who knows? 45 seconds isn't a whole lot of time, but the way that these two teams are playing, you can almost get 2 goals in that time period. 20 seconds to go. Wow. What a game. Bruins are shooting from way too far away. I mean, I know Pasta can make it from deep, but you got to get a little bit closer. Oh, wow. Penalty. Uh-oh. Tripping. Wow, unbelievable. Worst time to have a penalty, but again, I mean, there's only 20 seconds left. They're lucky they don't have 2 minutes left or like a minute 30 left and then get the power play. Wow, unbelievable. End of the third period. Power play for Edmonton. 5-5 Oilers. We're going to overtime, baby. Man, I thought this was late for me. Starting the stream at 7 o'clock. It started at 7:22. Would have been 9:22 if you're in the Midwest, or 10:22. Now it's midnight or 1 a.m. for some of y'all. My pup is in here saying, "Dad, hurry the fuck up." Aaron in the building. What's good? Yeah, it's definitely chippy. Let him know. Amazing game. I did not expect to be streaming this this late, but I guess it is what it is. At least it ended up being worth it, but I had a feeling that this would be a playoff atmosphere type of matchup, and it definitely has lived up to the billing. So an opportunity for someone to step up. Overtime. 4-9 record for Boston, 4-1 record for Edmonton. Definitely a huge advantage for Edmonton at home. And Edmonton's got the power play here too in overtime. Four more to 20. Smash the fucking like button. It's late as shit. All right, we're in OT, baby. Knotted up at 5. Bruins had a 4-1 lead in the second period, so it's been all Edmonton since then. See if Edmonton can cash in here and win the matchup in the power play or not. Oh. Oh. Wow. One-timers all day. Less than 4 minutes to go in OT. Oh. Swayman with another save. Unbelievable. Great save right there. There's been some questionable attempts from Swayman, but that was a good one right there. Who's going to be the hero? Connor McDavid or Pasta? Less than 4 minutes to go. We're knotted up at 5 in OT. See if McDavid has been frustrated tonight, but still, with that being said, he's got 2 assists. But it might be like one of the first times I've watched Edmonton play where he hasn't scored, but he still has time. Full strength. Oh, what a save by Skinner. Oh, he had a chance. He had a chance. Unbelievable. One-on-one. Great save by Skinner. Saved the game. I mean, we haven't had too many one-on-one scenarios, all game. So, anytime you got a one-on-one or a two-on-one, you got to cash in because you're only going to get a couple opportunities a game where it's like that. For real though, this might be I don't want to say it's the best game that we've done all year, but it's definitely up there. Maybe it is the best one we've done. I mean, besides all the Kraken games and all the other games that we've done throughout the year. Oh, damn, so close on these attempts. Like wide left, wide right, like right there. The momentum is everything in sports. Again, the Bruins had a 4-1 lead. Oh, Pasta's trying anything he can in his bag to try to get this dub. All right, Pasta, not going to show me. Marchand. Icing. That's tough. Yeah, this is I mean, back to back of a doubleheader. I mean, it's 10:09, 12:09, or 1:09. I would assume I'm the only one on YouTube that's doing this game. I highly doubt anyone else is doing it. Or if there is someone else doing it, I don't think very many people are going to be invested, to put in the grind and the time to do something like this. But that's what we're here for, to grind it out. Oh, there it is. 6-5 Boston. Oh, the Bruins found a way. Judah. Oh, baby. They found a way. Charlie McAvoy with the backhand. 6-5 winner in overtime. Wow. Charlie. Wow. Unbelievable. There it is. Unbelievable, Charlie. Nice job, Charlie. See if I can find a good Charlie photo here before we end up ending the stream. Sometimes heroes end up being the person that you least suspect to be the winner at the end of the day. Big win for you, Judah, especially when you were up 4-1 and it looked like the game was kind of slipping away. Wow. GG, man. GG. That was that might have been the best game I've done all year as far as the NHL. I mean, late as shit, for some of y'all, but I appreciate you sticking with me and watching it. And what an amazing run there. Let me see if I can get one more McAvoy here. What about this one? What about this one, Charlie? There we go. What a move. In overtime, the final 6-5 Boston. Unbelievable. Was hoping I was going to get a little bit more out of Connor McDavid than Pasta, but Pasta did his thing in the third period. And I mean, the main thing, if you really want to break it down, the main reason Edmonton lost is because Connor McDavid didn't score. If McDavid gets a goal, they probably, have a better chance. So I appreciate all the people that ended up watching on Twitter/X, as well as some of y'all that came through here at the very, very end. Final score in overtime, Boston 6, Edmonton 5. We'll be back tomorrow for 1 or 2 streams, depending on what we do. We got Dodgers Padres, first baseball game of the year, preseason baseball. That'll be around noon. We may or may not do that stream, but we will be doing the Canucks and the Kraken at 7 p.m. Pacific for sure. I appreciate everyone that donated, commented, shared. I appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, Judah, GG, and I'm out. Okay.